You're worth $4,000 or $40 million, estate planning can help protect you, your family, and your assets while you're alive and well. Damn. To register for an upcoming workshop today, go to chawlalegal.com/workshops or call 586-273-7157. Again, that's chawlalegal.com/workshops or call 586-273-7157.
What the Rock is cooking.
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
With so much wrestling within this upcoming weekend, the Breaking Down the Ring crew are having a very hard time keeping our attention going in one direction. Plus, not only that, there was a bunch of wrestling that just happened over this last week. Raw, SmackDown. Hell, Impact Wrestling had a taping where the main event was an intergender match. We're going to get into all that. And we're also going to have Evolve Wrestling's WWN champion, J.D. Drake, calling into the show at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to get into everything he's doing this weekend. And we're going to get into that and more this week as we
break the ring down.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
Oh, yeah.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. You just made the list. This right here is a fan-made.
Hey, this is professional wrestler and professional podcaster Colt Boom Boom Cabana.
My name is Killer Cross.
This is The Smoke Show, Scarlett Bordeaux.
What's up, guys? The After Machine, Brian Cage.
This is Ryan from Pro Wrestling Tees.
Sadly, you are not listening to The Art of Wrestling, but you made a decent choice because you're listening.
You are now listening to...
When you're listening...
And you're listening to...
You listen to Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring. Bring it down.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the most inappropriate pro wrestling show in the motherfucking world. You're listening to Breaking Down the Ring. We are your ring crew.
Black Dick Smith.
Z. And Smittashay.
And me, the almighty one and current ring crew champion of the world. I'm way worse than Mike Rome, the almighty one, Mikey himself. Thanks so much, Midget Stripper. I'm glad to see you have returned from your hiatus. When Nick was the champion, you didn't seem to have a problem with that.
Fuck no. The midget stripper was playing with his little hand. I mean, she was occupied. She looked bigger.
She looked a little bigger. Normal size hand for her. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We got a huge fucking show for you today. Evolve Wrestling is showing their 10th anniversary show, Evolve 131, on the WWE Network this coming Saturday at 8 p.m. Evolve Wrestling's WWN champion, JD Drake, is going to be calling in to us. We're going to be giving you our pro wrestling scorecard picks for this Sunday's Extreme Rules, which you can watch with us at the downtown Detroit Buffalo Wild Wings Sunday starting at 7 p.m. We'll be there a little bit earlier. You can watch the entire card, which, as we've been going over these picks, guys, these are fucking matches that we're all intrigued by because we don't know what the outcome is. What are you thinking about this so far, Smitty? Is it something that's is it one of the most anticipated pay-per-views so far of the year for you?
I just wonder what I want to. Oh, sorry. I'm wondering about.
Jeez, are you okay, man?
Heyman and Bischoff influence. Where the Heyman and Bischoff influence in this pay per view are going to come? Because I know we're going to see more of it after, but I'm a little bit worried that we're still going to see what guard is right here now in this pay per view. So I'm kind of iffy on it right now.
Okay, Z, what are you thinking about it?
I'm kind of happy. For once, the only match I'm absolutely positive is one match on the card, and the rest could go either way. So, I can helps me suspend my disbelief when I don't really know exactly who's going to win.
Nick, what about for you?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm a lot more intrigued than I was for fucking Stomping Grounds. I like that like we were talking about before the show, they've added a few matches in recently, and it looks good. And I did have some trouble making my picks as well, so it's going to be a good one.
Is this something that... Okay, so what are you more excited for? Because, look, we got Fight for the Fallen on Saturday. We also have Evolve's 10th anniversary show, Evolve 131, on Saturday as well. There'll be competing matches obviously on the Bleacher Report Live. You got Fight for the Fallen. And on the WWE Network, you're going to have Evolve's 10th anniversary. And Extreme Rules, like I said, on Sunday. Are you leaning any one way towards something, or is it kind of just an equal? I'm really excited to see all three, and I think they could all put on a great wrestling product. I
am excited to see all three. I think I'm still more excited to see Fight for the Fallen. I'm still, I guess you'd call me an AEW mark. I want to see how they bounce back from Fyter Fest. And I'm excited to see Evolve, too. I'm going to watch AEW Saturday night, watch Evolve Sunday morning, and then be at B-Dub Sunday night. But
yeah.
I think most excited about AEW still. So,
what about for you, Smitty? Which one of them is sticking out to you the most?
I'm kind of with Nick on this one. Like, I'm looking at the alternative right now. I'm stuck on alternative. Like, I've seen WWE. I see what WWE does, and I'm looking forward to Fight for the Fall. I'm going to watch Evolve as well. Like, pretty much in that order that Nick said right there.
Z, are you in a different mindset than either of these guys? Like, is AEW the one that sticks out the most to you right now, or is it something else?
Whatever show shorter. No, I'm a little more intrigued by AEW. It's a newer product. I want, like Nick said, I want to see if or how they bounce back from that god-awful show. But also, I mean, I'm just as eager to see WWE because of the Eric Bischoff, Paul Heyman regime, and the, like I was saying, the suspense from each one of the matches. So it's actually been a great weekend for wrestling either way.
See, I'm actually more excited for this Evolve 10th anniversary than any of them. AEW, the way they put on Fyter Fest, kind of killed that buzz for me right there. It was a show that we watched. At the end of it, we're just like, okay, but it's nothing by anything, spectacular according to what we had at Double or Nothing. At least with this 10th anniversary special, it's also another alternative. Sure, it's on the WWE Network. Sure, a lot of Evolve guys end up going to NXT. But there's also a lot of guys in Evolve that go to AEW. Let's not forget when we went when we were at that one, I believe it was Evolve 105 back in May, 2 years ago. Darby Allin and Joey Janela were on that card. They're now featured in AEW. Darby Allin obviously just took on Cody Rhodes. So it's not like these guys only go up to NXT or WWE. It's a good mix of wherever the hell else someone may go. I think that this is WWE put it on, this is the future of professional wrestling, and you're right. It is the future of professional wrestling because it's not the future of just WWE. So looking at these guys and these cards, it's all stuff that I'm sitting back going, this might be the show stealer for all three events. Sure, Extreme Rules could be really good because we got Bischoff and Heyman's a lot more of that influence. And like Smitty said, they're going to go for more post this. But as it currently stands right now, that's a show that's mainly closing up old storylines that some people just didn't give a fuck about. When Taker and Roman Reigns versus Shane and Drew was first announced, no one fucking cared that much. Hearing that Heyman and Bischoff have more of a hand in it, now it kind of ups the ante a little bit. It
puts a lot of intrigue on that last man standing match, though, because under the old regime, they were going to keep it strictly PG and not kind of push the boundaries, whereas under the Heyman or Bischoff regime, they might do stuff, and we might actually see some color out of that match. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's little stuff like that with the new regime that's coming in that you might see a little different, just like you hear a couple more swear words on TV now. Or a little bit more finger gestures. That was one.
You don't hear those.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, regardless of if WWE put something on for this, sponsored by putting this on against AEW, whether it be for competition or anything like that, is this probably one of the smartest things that WWE could have done, is to showcase possible future talent on their network? And if so, Z, should they try and continue with this for other special events for them? Obviously, the 10th anniversary is way more special than, you know, anything else that, you know, obviously any anniversary show would probably be something big.
Right. I guess it would depend on see what kind of numbers they draw. Kind of this is the tester, and then, you know, if they get a good viewing, they'll probably run more episodes. Or, you know, they might even do like a Evolve showcase on the network. That way you get more familiar with those guys. But also, I think it's more of a fuck you to AEW. Like, oh yeah,
you think it is a shot?
I really do, because I think it's like oh yeah, we can do it too. Watch. Only we're gonna do it under the Evolve brand, so our sponsors don't get mad.
Nick, do you feel that this might be a fucking shot?
Kind of. I was talking about it last week, and you know, we've known about Fight for the Fallen for quite a while, and obviously Evolve's had their schedule, but now all of a sudden, you know, when did WWE know that they were going to put their 10th anniversary special on? You know, that's kind of the unanswered question. You know, we'll never know the answer to that, but, you know, all of a sudden they decide, well, you know what? We're finding out that AEW is putting pay-per-views on for free. Fuck them. Let's do it too. You know what I mean? Obviously not for free. You got to be subscribed, but you get what I'm saying.
Not if it's your first month.
It's true. All three, whatever.
I think it's not so much a shot as it is a counter.
Okay.
I think it's a counter move on them. Like a pity counter move, because it's literally just trying to pull ratings away from AEW.
And that you're 100% just feel that this is, we don't want people to watch this, so we're going to give this instead.
Evolve has their own network.
WWN Live. Yeah,
correct. So, yeah, I think it's totally on purpose.
Are you in that same thing, Smitty?
Yeah, because Evolve's been around for years. You've been working with Evolve for years. You pick now. I get this their 10th anniversary. But also your guys been crossing over there for, 2 years now? And you didn't decide to put any of them on the network at that point?
Never have made mention of them at all up until
now.
Ago.
I mean, basically, Evolve was NXT before NXT was around. Well, back when NXT was
it was FCW. Florida Championship Wrestling was what it was.
Right, but it wasn't. Florida Championship Wrestling never came here. It didn't tour like Evolve does.
Okay, so WWE has had a working relationship with Evolve for a very long time. It was Gabe Sapolsky started it, and Daniel Bryan, he
helped. He named it.
Yeah, came up with the naming for it and was a very strong influencer into it.
Yeah, in his book, he talks about how basically him and Gabe collabed on the whole thing,
which is spectacular. You know, so WWE has had a working relationship with them for a long time. Now, granted, I also agree that the 10th anniversary is a huge situation for this. It's something very different than anything that may have been going with it before. However, I'm not 100% positive this is a pure fuck you to them. I'm sure that they said, I'm not going to say they didn't pull the back because it was happening. They may have been like, because that card was announced way before Fight for the Fallen. The date was announced with the 10th anniversary way before.
But it was just announced on the network.
It may have just been announced on the network, but it doesn't mean that something wasn't in the works. Because even before Fight for the Fallen was announced at any part of the card and stuff like that, it was already announced that Adam Cole was going to be a part of it, that all these superstars were going to be a part of it. It's not like these superstars just showed up and then the network showed up.
But they've been using NXT superstars at Evolve shows this whole time.
Agreed. So why couldn't that have been to see how the type of reaction they were getting? See, okay, now we have these NXT superstars have built a following on there that will show up. Now we can show something on the network. The 10th anniversary is coming up. I'm not sure that the only reason that this was put on as a fuck you. I'm basically going, we were going to do this anyway. Oh, but we get to say fuck you to them?
Well, right, I mean, it totally looks like a fuck you.
Right. And look, that's business is business. And the bottom line is you're going to want to extend your business no matter what. However, these Evolve wrestlers don't always all go to WWE. So that's why it's like, I can't. What?
That's true, but the past 2 years or so, they've had a strict working contract with WWE where virtually you go to Evolve, then you go to NXT. Although Joey Janela and what was that? 3 years ago we went to that show?
Darby
2.5 years ago?
Yeah, 2, something like that.
Okay, so, but I mean, this past year, everybody that goes through Evolve ends up in NXT.
Okay, well then here's another thing. Orange Cassidy, just on the AEW's Double or Nothing buy-in show, he is now a part of Evolve Wrestling. He is wrestling for Evolve at the last event. You know,
I didn't know that.
Well, yeah. So, and that's what I'm saying. I can't say. I can't say that this is a straight fuck you to them. I'm sure it was a definite plus for it. I just don't believe that
it's good shit.
Yeah, that's good shit. 100%. I agree that this is good shit. That being said, let's definitely talk about this card as we're waiting for the WWN champion to call in. Evolve 131, the 10th anniversary of Evolve, is happening in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at what is now called the 2300 Arena. Was previously known as the ECW Arena. Happening at a huge arena, a big time venue, which is another reason that makes me think WWE may have had hand in this earlier to this, because it coincides with Extreme Rules, which is something that had been planned for years, The main event is going to be Adam Cole as he defends the NXT Championship against Akira Tozawa from 205 Live. The co-main event is the Evolve Champion versus WWN Champion. Winner-take-all match. Evolve Champion Austin Theory against WWN Champion JD Drake. Then the Evolve Tag Team Championship is on the line as Eddie Kingston and Joe Gacy defend against AR Fox and Leon Ruff with Ayla and the Skulk, baby. A Catch Point reunion match. Matt Riddle versus WWE Cruiserweight Champion Drew Gulak. Grudge match number 1, Anthony Henry, former partner of JD Drake calling in, versus Arturo Ruas. Grudge match number 2, Shotzi Blackheart versus friend of the show, Brandy Lauren. That match was added to the show after
Twitter poll.
Evolve put out a Twitter poll that 89% of the people voted yes in. There's also a special challenge match, Babatunde versus Colby Carino. A fatal 4-way match of Kurt Stallion, Sean Maluda, Stephen Wolf, and Harlem Bravado. And then there's a special attraction match, Josh Briggs versus Anthony Green with Brandy Lauren. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a stacked card that you can catch on the WWE Network Saturday, 8 p.m. If you are not already a subscriber for the WWE Network, you may have heard it there, you may have heard it here, but if you're subscribed now, your first 30 days are free, which means you not only get the Evolve 10th anniversary show this Saturday, but this Sunday you get Extreme Rules. If you're already a subscriber, but you're in the Metro Detroit area and you don't want to sit at home alone, you can come and watch Extreme Rules with us at Buffalo Wild Wings Sunday night, downtown Detroit. Remember, street parking is free. Come, enjoy, have fun, because we have a special attraction at the Extreme Rules, and that is us and the Knockouts and 3 Counts guys. So Devin and Kyle put out a challenge to us as they were talking to Austin Theory yesterday on the Knockouts and 3 Counts podcast. Devin McKenzie straight up said that they wanted to bet that if Austin Theory wins, they are going to have beers bought for them, a beer each is what they said. And if our special guest JD Drake, he wins, then we are going to get beers purchased for us. I like it. Do you like it?
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot too. Sure. Whoa.
Sure.
Well, something's going on with Skype right now. So they're gonna call in, and then when he calls in, then if he wins, ladies and gents, when he wins, then we are going to get free beers from them. So I accepted this wonderful challenge.
Didn't even discuss it with us, just accepted.
Right, because
I went back on social media and said, "Bring it on, motherfuckers."
Because germs, ladies, germs. It's easy for them.
I love though how you posted the video and then asked.
No, actually, I asked
He asked first.
and nobody responded. So then I
I
cut a
respond on
promo.
social media.
I cut a promo on them, and then I said, "Let's up it to $50 because it's not fair." So
I was just thinking, really, a fucking beer?
yeah,
Like not even like a shot at our championship or some cash? Like,
yeah, nowhere near enough. Nowhere near enough. So that's what we did. We made it that. Simple and plain. Give us all of your beer because our own JD Drake is going to be a fucking winner. He's going to take the WWN championship, continue to hold that, and be a double champ with the Evolve championship on his waist. All of this stuff makes me happy, boys. Does all this stuff make you guys happy?
Yep.
Sure.
Now, let me ask a question. Obviously, we just went over the card, and is there a match that, even if it's just Adam Cole versus Akira Tozawa, Smitty, you follow the Indies quite a bit. Is there something on this that stands out more to you?
Like the way Eddie's focused on tag team wrestling, the Eddie Kingston match. Like we had Eddie Kingston on the show before, so that one on paper stands out a little bit. It was like I've known about JD Drake a little bit, but like with everything that's going on now with this winner takes all match, that stands out. I'm more interested in seeing the actual Evolve talent on the Evolve show, not so much the guys that are already in the NXT already.
And it's not just building him up because he's calling in. When we were at the two Evolve events I've been to, JD Drake stole the fucking show. There was the tag match. It was Keith Lee's last night where he faced Matt Riddle at Evolve 105. But the match before that was a tag match with JD Drake and Anthony Henry. And at the end, we gave them a standing ovation, man, because they fucking went. They kicked ass. And then JD Drake at this most recent one, another fucking amazing match, dude. It's just he went above and beyond. JD Drake, he faced it was Joe Gacy, if I'm not mistaken. Joe Gacy. And it was for the WWN title. And obviously JD Drake retained, but Joe Gacy's also not a little guy. So these are two, larger type guys going in for a match. And when it was all said and done, everyone in the fucking arena was like, that's the fucking match of the night. And it wasn't even the main event. I'm just thoroughly impressed by the gentleman, and so I feel like this match could be something that just stands out above all else.
And he's a guy I can see right now after watching Slammiversary. I can see him going to Impact and throwing down with guys like Elgin and Cage.
Austin Theory or JD Drake?
JD Drake.
Okay. Nick, after going over this match card, is there anything specific that stands out to you?
I'm kind of with Smitty. I've seen Adam Cole and Akira Tozawa already, and obviously they're good talent. But I am excited to see these Evolve guys. We've had now JD Drake's going to be on the show tonight, so based on what you're telling me, it's pumping me up to see this dude in the fucking ring.
Yeah.
Hearing you guys having the experience going to their previous shows and saying how awesome they are, I don't have a lot of knowledge about these guys, so to just the whole card, I'm really excited to see it because I feel like these indie promotions being put in the spotlight like that, I mean, they're going to go ham. Mm-hmm. I just,
Would you say it's going to be lit?
I would say lit for sure. Definitely, they're going to light it up.
Lit AF?
Lit AF for sure. Definitely lit AF.
Z, anything specific standing out to you?
Outside of Cole and Tozawa, no.
Yeah. No, that's just that is.
I'm not. Okay. I won't say no. That match intrigues me the most.
Okay.
Only because their styles conflict so much that I would like to see what kind of match they come up with.
Okay.
So it's intriguing.
How about you, Mikey?
I just said it. The winner take all match is because of how JD performs and stuff like that. So while we're waiting for JD Drake to call in, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this week in wrestling. Officially, the club is 100% reformed. Luke Gallows lost to Ricochet, and then Carl Anderson lost to Ricochet, and then AJ Styles beat the shit out of Ricochet before the United States Championship match this week at Extreme Rules. Is it seem like this is finally going to be what we've wanted from these guys, Z, or is it might be some sort of other watered down gimmick?
I'm not sure. I'm waiting to see what they do because they're either trying to sign Gallows and Anderson or they already have. Thanks, Smitty. So I want to see what they do. Just like we'll probably talk about it in a little bit, but just like Mike Bennett, they re-signed him, and although everybody thinks he's getting buried, he's still been on TV for 2 weeks in a row, which is more than I can say for his entire WWE career. So,
you was the whole thing about the rehab thing for like a whole year, one of those years. He was like a rehab.
It doesn't matter. He was there for 2.5 years, and you saw him on TV twice, and it wasn't consecutive weeks. Like, this storyline looks like it's going to be a lengthy storyline, so you can say that because of what they're doing with the gimmick that he's being buried, but he's not, because he's on TV every fucking week. So you can't be buried if you're on TV. You're getting TV time.
I already said I was glad to see him on television.
So
anyway.
Same thing with the club. Although, you have Gallows and Anderson both lose to Ricochet, they're still on TV, and they're on TV more than they have been in a while since they first joined. So I like it. I like however this plays out. I'm just glad those guys are getting TV time because they deserve it.
What about for you, Smitty? You obviously the bigger indie wrestling fan. You watched the beginnings of Bullet Club and how now it's transpired into WWE. Even seeing their original kind of run before there was a separation and things like that. What are you seeing from this after just 2 weeks now?
After 2 weeks, this seems like something that may have Paul's fingerprints all over it. Because even in losing a Ricochet this week, they both looked really good. It's probably the best we've seen them in ring in a long time as well. Because they've always been bunched. They've been bunched together. Like, to see them both have some one-on-one time in a ring.
I was actually mad that when they first announced that match, I'm like, why wasn't it Carl Anderson? And then they did the whole thing.
So, Smitty, you're okay with these guys being bunched in with someone else and getting pushes, getting good matches, but you're not okay with others like Drew McIntyre?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, in general, McIntyre's been used before this whole, these are guys that have not been used. They weren't even sure they were re-signing.
But they've been used. They've been they've been the Raw Tag Team Champions before and lost to returning Hardys at WrestleMania in a 5-way ladder match. 4-way ladder match, sorry.
And what have you done with them since then?
Okay. What did you do with Drew McIntyre other than put him with Dolph Ziggler?
Well, you brought him in with Ziggler, and then you pretty much just jumped him from one faction to another.
But in between there was a month or two that he really wasn't being featured that much or doing much of anything.
Because you fed him to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Okay. So these guys were fed to bigger tag teams like the Usos and the New Day, and they were just basically shot down the card because they didn't hold up their end there. That's just all I'm saying. You have... It's funny how when certain people are getting it, you're like, yeah, but when it's involved with someone else, you just tend to be like, no, this is fucking stupid. Rather than seeing the exact same bright side for the other one, is what I'm saying.
Well,
McIntyre's a different specimen, and McIntyre's a different situation than Gallows and Anderson, though.
How?
So you're just looking at a tag team in a division that's been shit on for years, been shit on for years by WWE in general.
So it's not their fault that their whole division's been shit on.
And you're looking at guys like McIntyre. McIntyre's a great talent by himself who really doesn't need anybody else to hold on to him.
But you want to tell me that McIntyre wasn't shit on? Because I remember a 3MB gimmick that was complete burial.
I'm talking about since McIntyre's return to WWE.
I'm just saying. I mean, if you look back,
3MB was over at one point.
The fact of the matter is, you're happy that Gallows and Anderson are getting the push because they were New Japan guys, and basically Drew McIntyre wasn't. So you don't. You're just biased. That's fine.
No, it's okay.
No,
I actually like McIntyre. That's the point. And I think he's worth more than what WWE's been giving him. And even if you look at the early days of Bullet Club, Anderson and Gallows were muscle. They were muscle. They were the muscle for Finn Balor. They were the muscle for AJ. They were the muscle until they pretty much until they were kicked out when
So let me ask you.
when Omega took over.
Let me ask you this: you bring in Drew McIntyre, you shoot him to the goddamn moon. Next thing you know, he's John Cena. Do you still like him, or do you slowly build him up?
I say you would have slow. Like honestly, if you build a child, depending on where you shoot him. If you shoot him like a face, that's not McIntyre's a heel.
But I mean, you bring him now. Granted, the guy has the size and the look to be a monster, so it is possible to give him a rocket push. But what I'm asking you is, at what point do you turn on him as a fan because now they're shoving him down your throat?
Honestly, as long as he's not a baby face. If you like, the rocket push for baby face is what annoys me. If you rocket push a heel, look at Sheamus. Sheamus comes to the WWE main roster. Sheamus has not been there 3 months. You throw the WWE title on him, beating the John Cena in a tables match.
Beat up John Cena.
Huh?
I mean, and at the time, Sheamus was a great heel.
Was a rocket push for a heel works. But at this point, a slow burn for a heel, especially in a company that has trouble building heels.
I mean, but they're doing a great job of building him. Every time the commentators put him over on TV, they're like, he's the most dangerous guy on the roster. And honestly, although he's doing Shane McMahon's dirty work, I mean, he's laying people out in the process. They're just keeping him away from the title until they can have a decent program with him. And I'm okay with that. You are not.
No, literally, he's there to make Shane look good. To make Shane look strong, make Shane look credible.
And it's working.
So
it does nothing for him.
All right, you said that you could see Paul Heyman's fingerprints all over the club. Obviously, Paul Heyman's fingerprints have been all over Raw for the last 2 weeks. This week, would you say it was as good or equal to last week's, or would you say it was worse?
It was worse because the build up, like last week you mentioned, everything they did with the club was kind of built up throughout the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this was kind of a okay, this is what we're going to get, and you kind of pull back, hold on some of your excitement to go on to Sunday.
But they still, everything that was built up throughout the show still ended up in the main event.
Yeah.
This time it was just Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre looking for an opponent for Roman Reigns. So it was still consistent. What it started with in the first hour continued all the way to the third hour. So it just wasn't the club this time. It was Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon versus Roman Reigns and what turned out to be Cedric Alexander.
I didn't mind the stories. I'm just sick of seeing Shane on TV.
So you're saying that you didn't like this as much because there was still a lot of Shane, even though there wasn't a bunch of even Corbin and Lacey just basically let it off and then we're done. You were upset.
But the fact that you hate seeing Shane on TV means what they're doing is working. They're getting actual heat from it. I mean, I don't mind, but this is what they're doing with Shane, and it's working.
What's a bigger match at Extreme Rules? Roman Reigns and this is I'm asking an honest opinion of what you feel, not for yourself, but what you think overall is a bigger match, more important match to the mass audience at Extreme Rules. Is it Roman Reigns and Undertaker versus Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon, or is it Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans and Baron Corbin? I'm talking about who you feel the mass, the majority of the audience is what match they're more going to be tuned into at Extreme Rules.
The Undertaker match because it's the Undertaker.
Okay,
even though it's
so
past his prime.
that's fine. So you're saying that what you felt was the more important match on Extreme Rules to the masses. So obviously they're placating to the masses. The storyline that they built up is what the masses are going to be finding more important. But because it wasn't what you feel was going to be the most important match.
I think the title should always take precedent over any grudge match.
I would agree that the title should take precedence over any special fucking appearance. And an Undertaker appearance, regardless if I do not feel he's a top 10 wrestler, I feel like when he shows up, it's similar to Brock Lesnar. You know, it's a special attraction, and that's always. I wouldn't be surprised if that match closes the show. Nick, how did you feel about this build of Raw? Equal, better, or worse than last week's?
I think there were most parts that were equal. Some of them left me wanting more. I mean, I'll be honest. You're right in the fact that there was a build up the whole show, finding a partner for Roman Reigns, but the end of it, I just was kind of like, okay, Cedric Alexander, cool.
But let me ask you this:
like,
did you ever see that coming?
No, I didn't.
So I mean, although it
really
doesn't,
the whole mask thing.
However, when he said, "I'm going to put a mask on you," you know, because we're the faces, so we'll put a mask on you.
Oh yeah, of course. And then as a mark, that it's going to be somebody else. But did you really ever expect it to be Cedric Alexander?
No, I thought it was Ricochet behind there at first, based on some of those moves. But
that was my only thought was, well, it's not the Miz.
Yeah,
right. I honestly thought
still black.
I honestly thought it was Kofi, or Xavier Woods. I literally, because it was a black guy, I was literally like,
too much hair under that mask.
But see, that's the thing is,
Apollo Crews.
I know,
wrong chest.
Yes, exactly. But no, because of the puffiness of the mask, I was like, okay, so the person on there is a black guy with hair, right? And I wasn't even thinking Cedric. I literally thought Cruz or Kofi.
And there's your swerve.
Right, and I'm not arguing at all. I thought it was great, and he got TV time, and he got to. I felt bad for him mainly because he couldn't see out of that mask, and there was a couple botches that you're like, shit! If only you would have been able, that mask would have been better for you.
Now, see, I think Raw was worse than last week. Not leaps and bounds worse, just worse. But it's a go home show. I expected it to be worse. But I will tell you this: this is one of the best go-home shows I've seen in a long time.
Thought SmackDown was better.
But that's what I'm saying. Like normally go-home shows. Normally go-home shows suck. They are the worst. Like nobody wants to watch them. They get the lowest ratings. They don't really do anything. They just talk or have fake contracts signed. Dumb shit like that. And this Raw was not as good as last week's, but I don't expect every Raw to top every Raw. It was consistent with the storyline. It was a good Raw, and it was a great go-home show.
the last 2 Raws were better than the last 10. I'll say that.
Oh, that's
for damn sure.
15, 20, 30.
Year and a half.
WrestleMania since the WrestleMania 33.
Fair. The Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss, Bayley storyline is also playing out on both shows. The SmackDown Women's Champion is being used across both shows. Is this something that you're finding, Nick, that is good, knowing the way it played out? Is it something that at least when it comes to the match, you're like, all right, I'd like to see this edition? I'll be honest, that was a swerve for me because when I was, winner picks the stipulation, I totally thought Bayley was going to win and then make it a triple threat match.
That's what I thought too. My exact thoughts.
Yep. And then it swerved to Nikki winning and her making it a 2-on-1 handicap match with Alexa Bliss.
Nikki will play.
Alexa Bliss.
You want to play? I'll play. So is with the swerves being completely out of left field, something you weren't going to call, even though a lot of people thought of it, does that make it more intriguing? Are you still intrigued in this, even though originally it seemed like, oh, great, it's Bayley and Alexa again?
I am more intrigued now than I have been with it because, again, at first I was like, Bayley and Alexa, here we go. But I like what they're doing with Nikki. It seems like every week they're doing a little bit more with her. They're making her they're showing her nice side, but they're making her very aggressive at the same time, but not fucking psychopath. You know what I mean? Besides her entrance. But that did catch me off guard, getting her into the match with a handicap match. I was not expecting that.
Do you guys think that the whole purpose of this this whole storyline / 2-on-1 match is the fact that Alexa might still not be cleared to wrestle?
I don't know where Alexa was this week. I don't think she's not cleared the wrestle.
Well, think about it. I mean, Nikki's been doing all the. I'm just saying. I'm just wondering if this storyline came out of Alexa keeps getting injured. Same problem. has to wait to get cleared, been dropping out of matches and shit like that. But to be completely honest, Alexa's, top 2 in your women's division.
Mm-hmm.
She brings people in. She can talk on the mic. Like she's got all the tools, except for she can't wrestle right now. So you just, make Nikki Cross her sidekick. And that way you can put Alexa in the ring. She doesn't really have to do much, and Nikki can do all the heavy lifting, so to say.
I don't think so, because even when they were doing that 24 documentary, they gave her the complete clear.
That time. But then there was a recent time where she had to drop out of a match, like the last or 2 pay-per-views ago. Money in the Bank. She wasn't cleared to wrestle, so she had to drop out of the match, and they had a match to determine who was going to face the champion. I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was after her original injury.
So, reading on Wrestling Inc., it says Alexa Bliss is not backstage for the Raw. Bliss has been sick recently. However, she's still expected to face Bayley this Sunday at Extreme Rules. So yeah, I guess it's just she's sick. I mean,
no. What I was saying was I'm wondering if this storyline developed because at the time she wasn't cleared to wrestle. So, okay, insert Nikki to win all the matches to get Alexa into the match, and then you just kind of swerve with the storyline as it, like snowball effect.
Okay. No, I don't think that if they would have been worried about, I know what you're talking about, and that one appearance was also something during that original concussion. Like it was when she came back, and
yeah, she was supposed to be she was in the Royal Rumble, and then it was the pay-per-view after that. She was supposed to be in a match, but then she wasn't medically cleared, so somebody had to take her place.
Yeah, because she did there was something that was done and she hit wrong.
Yeah. I think it may not, and I don't think it was the original injury, but it was like an arm or something like that.
Yeah, and I think that was just long enough ago to where this is just not a part of it. So, Smitty, are you involved in this storyline, the SmackDown Women's Championship storyline?
I think it's something to keep a women's title like by itself, and having it go across both brands. It's solidified. Like, the only thing I'm upset is like Bayley is the SmackDown Women's Champion. And like, even though I get this the wild card rule, it's bullshit. Like both SmackDown titles at this point are being defended against Raw people. At this point,
are you hoping the wild card rule goes away after Extreme Rules, or at least isn't used as prevalently?
I want it to just go away, but you got to keep Roman on Raw somehow.
Z, what about the wild card rules? Is something that you're hoping
at some
starts
point
being toned down?
Yeah. Because I'm confused to who's on what show, to the point where I thought it might have been Andrade. Did he have a match on Raw?
Yeah, him and Vega versus Becky and Seth.
Okay, yeah, but they're on SmackDown.
Yeah.
But I thought they were on Raw. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm literally getting confused.
Well,
who's on what brand other than the champions? But the champions are on both brands as well. So
at the same time, though, dude, you were very correct because Andrade originally was drafted to
Raw,
and then like a week or two later was put.
No,
out.
it was the very next week he was pulled back to SmackDown
because they don't want to take Vega and pull Vega and Black away.
Which created
Black
a
was
lot
on
of
Raw,
this
too.
confusion. Is they had the draft, and then they were like, "Oh wait, we got to do this," and they mixed a bunch of shit up. So that started the confusion. But now, like, I don't even know. Like, so now we have Cesaro versus Aleister Black, for example, at Extreme Rules.
Yeah,
Cesaro is
Raw guy.
Raw, and Aleister Black is
SmackDown.
SmackDown. So that you know what I mean. But I have to ask myself in every match, like, what brand are they on?
I kind of feel like they're trying to make us forget about it.
And I originally thought that the Canellises were on SmackDown, but
they were never
Raw.
they were never on anything. They were 205. Nick, that's a really interesting point. You think they're trying? This whole thing is to possibly confuse us to where we forget, and then when they do, there maybe another split for the Fox deal, and like, okay, these are who's going where.
You know what they should?
Hold on, let Nick
Well,
answer.
yeah, because I mean, at first it was like, okay, we're gonna have wild cards, 4 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how many is it now? Because that was
18.
I don't know, 2 months ago when they decided that wild card rule, somewhere around there.
Yeah, when Vince said it, it was 4.
I
and
thought it
then
was 3, and then he changed it.
Vince
to 4.
said it was 4. and then it was the WWE.com article that originally then said 5 because it coincided with someone extra that had come on, and then they edited that article to say just whatever desired amount for the management.
They've slowly been doing that, but then they've also done these situations like, for example, with Bailey and Nikki. They've had a little bit of the story on Monday, a little bit of the story on Tuesday. And there have been, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there have been a couple times when they've done that. So they're kind of just blurring that line between SmackDown and Raw superstars. So, yeah, I think that it could be possible. They're trying to make us. So
you're thinking that we might see a completely different split by October when they go Raw for USA and SmackDown for Fox?
Yeah, because Fox wants who they want, and it looks like, to me, it sounds like WWE is going to give them nearly whatever they want. So if they want, I want these fucking guys on SmackDown in some shape or form, they're going to get them over there.
And this is the perfect time to do it. You just put Heyman in a spot, and you just put Bischoff in a spot, so now they can have the draft to draft their own guys to do what they want to do on their shows. And it makes sense. It's not just like, okay, well, we confused you, so we're just going to re-split this up. It's like, we hired 2 new guys to run the show, so now they're going to get a chance to pick the guys they want, and you can play in the story that way, and it's more realistic than, all right, we're just gonna have another shakeup after SummerSlam.
So, but I thought when they announced the thing on the website, outside of Heyman's like being an advocate for Lesnar, their roles are completely backstage.
And I understand where you're going with that, Z, and it's very, very possible it could happen.
But they announced them as the new directors. They don't have to step out from their backstage role to have a draft. They can do it online and just list who's on what show. They don't have to do it on TV. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be a Monday night and a Tuesday night where they do, I get this pick, this pick, this pick. No, they just tell you, all right, well, Heyman won the coin toss. He gets the first pick. Here's the team he drafted. Here's the team Bischoff drafted. Now you're also pulling people to look at your social media to see what the fuck is happening because you didn't even know this happened. Because it was on social media, and it had nothing to do with them being on TV.
I would like that. I think something on those lines would be really good.
WWE.com exclusive Friday at noon.
But they've been using
something like that.
Ever since AEW came out, they've been using their social media platform the way they should have been doing it the whole time. Right. So why not just use this as another thing?
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Or have we used to play have an exclusive draft on a network.
Now, Kevin Owens was a huge part of SmackDown. Again, another show where the beginning of it set up something that closed off in the main event. How did you feel, Nick, when you're watching this show, when you're watching SmackDown, and you're seeing how, obviously it begins, and the main event was supposed to be Ziggler and Owens, and then Owens was taken out, and now it's Ziggler and Roman, and then Kevin Owens still gets involved, hitting a stunner on Shane and everything like that. Building up, especially with his promo saying, all we keep hearing is how this is supposed to be us that is running this show, and yet we still see Shane McMahon and more power and literally dropping what everybody has fucking been saying like crazy. So you're watching this, Nick, and is it something that you're like, fuck yeah, I can't wait, and then thought it was a great payoff? Or did SmackDown rise from the ashes that last week we were all like, man, SmackDown was nowhere near as good as Raw? Because I feel SmackDown was better than Raw this week.
Yep.
Ditto.
So is it back from the ashes? Is it once again the fucking top show? Or is it, hey, all around better than what Raw was going on? And why do you think SmackDown was better this week?
I think it's more of an all-around thing, but I definitely think SmackDown for this week was better. The last 2 weeks, it's been both shows like back and forth. Raw was better last week. SmackDown's better this week. But I really enjoyed that Kevin Owens promo. I mean, that was... First of all, when he pulled up in the car at the beginning of the show, it was hilarious. The promo he ran where Shane came out, it really made you feel like it wasn't a work. Like, it pulled me in, and I really thought, obviously I didn't really think, but he really pulled me in. Whatever he was saying was exactly the things that, especially with the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community, a lot of these people are thinking. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's awesome. And then, the fact that Shane turned off the one mic, and then he went over to the production area and had the other mic turn off, and all that. And then at the end,
grabs the headset and talks into that mic.
Yeah.
Like, that was great.
It was awesome. And then at the end, when he came out and did the stunner to Shane, and you know what?
Stone Cold like
Kevin
it was
Owens.
great.
Shane sold it like a champ.
Yep, it was great.
Bleacher Report reported Kevin Owens' promo as pipe bomb-esque.
Yeah, I saw that word thrown around a few times.
God, I hate that fucking shit.
Yeah.
I honestly hate anything being compared to that CM Punk promo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because it's completely different. Kevin Owens was probably somewhat scripted. I don't want to say it all was, because I feel like they're giving them a little more freedom on the mic. But to compare it to a promo where they literally cut Punk's mic because they're like, all right, air your grievances. Okay, enough. Whereas with Owens, they were probably like, all right, go out there and basically say what the internet is saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The only thing I don't like about Kevin Owens right now is, why is he using the stunner? What is wrong with the pop-up powerbomb?
The pop-up powerbomb, I kind of feel like it depends too much on your opponent to make it look good.
I think
you can't really, like if he has a bigger opponent, it'd be hard.
But why the stunner? But you're giving him an Austin style promo, and then Austin's finishing move. So I just feel like, and it's Kevin Owens. He's great. I've been a Kevin Owens fan since NXT.
You can't use a package pile driver.
But I didn't. Did I say package pile driver?
No, but he can't use a package pile driver.
But did I say anything about a package pile driver?
No, but you were talking about why is he giving the stunner?
But that wasn't his finisher originally.
Right.
He's saying,
so I didn't say anything about the package pile driver.
You just wanted to say package.
And pile driver.
Smitty's Meats, ladies and gentlemen.
I was just going to say.
You can get it for 42% off because it's Jackie Robinson style, baby.
You get it in a package and we pile drive it down.
Use the promo code package.
But no, I just don't like that you're kind of giving him the stone cold. You're like making him stone cold. And he's not. He's Kevin Owens.
See, I don't think what he cut was a Austin style promo, though. I think what he cut was a Kevin Owens style promo. There was, to me, when I watched that, and he was just fucking screaming and getting any mic that he could. Austin, when I guess the only real similarity is it's the boss.
Yes, it's one guy versus the authority figure.
Yeah, but at the same time, Austin, when he would drop it, Austin's promos were all very much audience oriented. There's he go, if you want me to do this, give me a hell yeah. Like all these people, fucking Kevin Owens was just airing his fucking, similar.
I'm talking for people in the back.
Well, he transferred that emotion over really good.
Right,
that got me.
Kevin Owens has always been great on the mic.
Right.
Always, he knows what to do, and then he follows it up on Twitter. Like Kevin Owens is very smart with wrestling psychology. And like if he's a heel in person, he's a heel on Twitter, he's a heel on face. Like he's got that old school mentality where if I'm a heel all the time.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But my comparison to Stone Cold is more him playing the anti-hero because he's not exactly a face yet. I mean, they're getting there. Don't get me wrong. But right now, he's kind of a tweener that is just, like you said, airing his grievances.
I wouldn't say he's a tweener.
No, he went full blown face.
Yeah,
after this
him
week.
and Ziggler going at it at the end of SmackDown last week to this week. I would say that Kevin Owens is probably your very, very close
number 2 face
to number 1 face. The only person who's above him is Kofi, and that's barely, like, super barely. Like I give it 2 more weeks till Kofi is not the number 1 face of SmackDown.
Like I said, but I was kind of on Z's fence last week. After that, I'm like, I think they're gonna make him tweener, but then this week, like, no, he's full blown face, dude.
Well, now he's got this issue with, I saw some tweets that WWE isn't selling his merch at shows, and a fan tweeted to him, like, hey, man, I wanted to buy some of your shit, and it's nowhere to be found. So Kevin Owens replied and retweeted that and said, well, you know, I've been trying to keep my mouth shut for the last year and a half, but I can't anymore, you know. I saw that today, that they haven't been selling his merch at shows, apparently. And
Really?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Hashtag where's my merch?
Where's my WWE ice cream bars, damn it?
You'll never get those ice cream bars.
Nope.
Ever. Z, you thought SmackDown was better this week than last week?
Yeah, of course I did. I think both
Leaps and bounds?
Nah. I mean, not leaps and bounds, but significantly better. You know what I mean? I don't think it was, like, I don't think the week before was straight trash and this was, you know, the best thing that ever happened. But it was definitely an upgrade from last week. It was definitely better than Raw. But either way, the past 2 weeks, both shows have been better than they've been in a long time.
All right. Smitty, how did you feel about it?
I thought SmackDown was better than last week. I feel like last week they kind of floundered water, and this was kind of like, especially for a go-home show. This was a great go-home show. I think the only thing I really didn't care for on SmackDown was the contract signing. I think I kind of was invested in everything on SmackDown except that damn contract signing and a Carmella-Nikki match.
All right. Let's move on to our Pro Wrestling Scorecard picks for Extreme Rules. And, of course, when JD Drake calls in, we are going to take a nice little break to talk to him about the 10th anniversary Evolve show airing on the WWE Network this Saturday. So Pro Wrestling Scorecards give us the Extreme Rules thing. 10 matches on this thing, plus an extra thing that they have going on here. And we'll get into that. So the first match is Aleister Black versus Cesaro with 3 extras: fall type, near falls, plus or minus 1, and the amount of Cesaro swing rotations, plus or minus 1. We're going. I'm the champ, so obviously I'm going to go last. So we're going to go Smitty, Z, Nick, then actually Smitty, I want you to read off Joe's again because Joe sent his picks in for this.
All right.
So it's going to be Smitty, Joe, Z, Nick. Again, back to Smitty, and then Joe, then Z, and then Nick. All right?
Okay.
So, Aleister Black versus Cesaro. Smitty, give me your picks.
I have Aleister Black winning by pinfall, 3 near falls, and 13 Cesaro swing rotations. Joe also has Black winning by pinfall, 4 near falls, and 11 Cesaro swing rotations.
All right, Z.
I have nobody winning by a double count out with 3 near falls and 10 swing rotations.
I have Black winning with by pinfall with 6 near falls and only 8 swing rotations.
All right. I also have Aleister Black winning by pinfall. I have 4 near falls, and I have 6 swing rotations. Up next, Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley in a last man standing match. 4 extras in here. First down for a 5 count. Number of 9 counts, plus or minus 1. That was actually given to us, suggested by L.I. St. Cloud. Long Island St. Cloud, probably. Match time, plus or minus 1. And will there be blood? Yes or no? Suggested by ABAZEING on Twitter. Smitty, what are Joe's picks?
Joe has Braun winning. He has the first person down for a 5 count as Braun. 3 number of 9 counts. Match time, I believe it looks like a 17 minutes. And no to blood.
All right. Z.
I have Strowman winning. Lashley would be the first one down for a 5 count. There will be 4 9 counts. 18-minute match, and yes, there will be blood.
All right. Joe, Nick.
I've got Braun. Braun's going to be the first one down for a 5 count. 3 9 counts. 15-minute match time, and yes, there will be blood.
Smitty.
I'm going with Braun winning. Braun down for the first 5 count. 4 9 counts. 16 minutes because I've switched from 18 to 17, so I'm just going to go in between. And no to blood.
All right. I have Braun. I have Lashley down for the first 5 count. I have. I'll tell you exactly what I have later, ladies and gentlemen. On the line with us, the current WWN champion, Evolve Wrestling's own, the blue collar badass, J.D. Drake. Sir, how in the hell are you today?
I am worn out, if you want to know the God's honest truth, but I'm here. I thought for a minute that I wasn't going to be because I'm going to be quite honest. I got this one mixed up. I thought it was 9:30 Central Time, not Eastern Time.
Oh, man. I am so sorry about that, sir. I apologize.
No, it's my fault. Mistake. I had an interview earlier with Jason Frazier from ESPN. Gosh, I forget. But it was in Central Time.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, my interview later is in Central Time, too. Why not tell me?
Hey, man, it could be worse. We appreciate the fact that you were able to call in. Definitely, especially with everything you have coming up this weekend. It's a huge weekend for Evolve Wrestling, with you guys being on the WWE Network Saturday night for the 10th anniversary show, emanating from 2300 Arena, the old ECW arena, on the WWE Network. It's your first time on the WWE Network, the Evolve brand. How excited are you, and how excited is the locker room talking about this show coming up?
Well, I tell you what, huge might be an understatement. The excitement and atmosphere in the locker room and amongst everybody on the roster has just been off the charts. It's almost impossible to put in words how crazy things have been for the past couple of weeks. When we found out about it, it was just like, it's one of those things where, is this something that's actually happening, or are we being ribbed?
Right.
But there's definitely no ribbing going on. This is going down. And not only is it going down, it's going down tomorrow or Saturday night.
Right, on the WWE Network. Again, let's give everyone a rundown.
On the WWE Network.
Yep, give everyone the rundown again for the card. One of the main events, NXT Championship match, Adam Cole defending against 205 Live, Akira Tozawa. And then in the co-main event, Evolve Champion versus WWN Championship. Winner take all, yourself, JD, the WWN Champion, taking on the Evolve Champion, Austin Theory. Whoever wins that match is going to be walking away with gold on both shoulders. We got the Evolve Tag Team Championship match, Eddie Kingston and Joe Gacy defending against AR Fox and Leon Ruff with Ayla and the Skulk. Then there's a Catch Point reunion match, Matt Riddle versus the WWE Cruiserweight Champion Drew Gulak. There's grudge match number 1, your former tag team partner Anthony Henry versus Arturo Ruiz. Grudge match number 2, Shotzi Black.
Hold on. Not former.
Oh, still.
Anthony Henry and I are always going to be not just best friends or the closest thing to brothers ever, but if there comes a time where, a tag team has to be put in the ring and show somebody how tag team wrestling is done and Evolve, the Workhorsemen would be more than happy to step in the ring.
Damn right. Well, I apologize then, sir. And then just added grudge match number 2, Shotzi Blackheart taking on Brandy Lauren. Again, that match put into play because of the Evolve Twitter poll, where 89% of the people voted they wanted to see that match on the 10th anniversary show. Then there's a special challenge match, Babatunde versus Colby Carino, a fatal 4-way match, Kurt Stallion, Sean Maluda, Stephen Wolf, and Harlan Bravado, and then the special attraction match, Josh Briggs versus Anthony Green with Brandy Lauren. We were talking about it and things that we were looking forward to. I said myself that I'm really looking forward to your match, and that's not blowing smoke up your ass, because we were there at Evolve 105 in Livonia, Michigan. We were there at Evolve 127 at Livonia, Michigan. You took on Joe Casey at 127 for the WWN title, which I and everyone around me thought was the match of the night. And then again at Evolve 105, there was the tag team match with you and Anthony Henry. That was the match right before Keith Lee's final match in Evolve before he went on to NXT. And even though Keith Lee and Matt Riddle went at it, we were all talking about how that tag match blew the roof off, and they had such a hard match to follow. Granted, we felt they did, but you guys, you are setting a bar, sir. Every time I watch you wrestle, me personally, I'm just talking for myself here, I am more than impressed by the way you go at it in the ring. It's something that you don't see often because, guys, let's be very honest. Our size, I'm a bigger guy as well. They don't flip and flop around the ring like you, sir. You are something to watch. You are a spectacle. So I'm looking very forward to your match. So how are you feeling about facing Austin Theory for the winner take all match?
I'm 1-0 against Austin Theory in title matches.
Oh, that is
Did
true.
I say anything else? The last time we stepped foot in the ring together was at La Boom in Queens.
Mm-hmm.
It was on March 16th, and let's see, he was terrified to put his belt on the line. I demanded. I'm talking called management, said, listen, this is what's going to happen. They didn't want to respond to that, so I shot a video and told them, look, I'm putting my belt on the line. Whether you sanction it or not, my championship is going to be on the line. If Austin Theory beats me, I'll relinquish it. Finally, they made it a championship match, and Austin Theory got his ass whipped. That's just all there is to it. He got beat to death.
And not only that, go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, not only that, you at Evolve 114, that's where you won the WWN title in a 6-way ladder match. Austin Theory was a part of that match.
So that make you 2-0 against Austin Theory in title matches?
That does not make me 2-0 because, I don't count it unless, it's one-on-one, middle of the ring. He's got no excuses. The only excuse he has is the fact that he said, I didn't give 100% because my belt wasn't on the line. I'll tell you what, being in the ring with him, it didn't feel like he was taking off of anything. It didn't feel like he was giving 50%. It felt like he was trying to prove a point. Well, the only point he proved is that my work ethic is just as strong as his. Just because I don't look like him doesn't mean anything.
It's not the cover. You never judge a book by the cover. And sure as shit.
Absolutely. Don't let the physique fool you. I'm the best damn wrestler in the company.
I honestly can't even argue that. That's not blowing smoke. Every time I have seen you live, you have basically had you have had the match of the night, the match that someone had to top. And it's just something that is spectacular. Now, let's talk a little bit about you getting into the wrestling business. I'll be very honest, sir. We got that email that you wanted to come on our show, and we were very humbled at that. But then, of course, you do your full research. You try to look up a guy. You try to find out, where he trained, what year he debuted. You, my friend, are very mysterious. Like the internet, only you're the only wrestler I can't find any type of beginnings on. So, that being said, would you like to tell us what year you debuted, who you trained with, things like that? What made you fall in love with the wrestling business to want to become one of the top tier performers that are in the business right now?
Sure. My first time in a professional wrestling ring, I was 15 years old. Myself and my best friend at the time, who is a wrestler here in North Carolina as well, his name is Marshall Sinden. And we found a local show. We called the number given for tickets and said, hey, we want to learn how to be professional wrestlers. And he said, all right, is there a way you can get there? And we told him, no, sir, we're 15. So he said, give me your address. I'll come by and pick you up, bring you to the show, let you bump around, see what it's like. You can watch the show, and I'll take you back home. I've never met this guy before. So he sure enough shows up, picks us up. I told my grandmother I was going to my friend's house. My friend told his mother he was going to our house. And 45 minutes up the road, we went to a wrestling show with somebody we never met before. Get there, and George South happens to be in the ring. Mr. Number One, probably the greatest trainer on the face of the planet. He trained names like Tessa Blanchard, Cedric Alexander, Ricky Steamboat Jr., Reed Flair, you name it, he's trained them. And he beat us to death. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. He tried to beat us completely out of the wrestling business. I know that I took $200 that day.
Oh, wow.
First time I ever been in a wrestling ring. I didn't want to see a wrestling ring after that. So after I graduate high school, I seek out more professional wrestling training and run across the guy who wound up taking me under his wing and showing me the ropes and giving me my start in the wrestling business. David Reimer. He wrestled around here as Wicked. And, man, he trained me for about 2.5 months. I took to it like a duck to water. And I had my first show 2.5 months in. From that point, I never stopped training. I just continued to wrestle shows local to my house, no more than an hour away or so. Most of the time it was shows that he got me on because, I was there doing ring rentals and things like that. So he would talk to the promoter, get me on with one of the guys that I trained with. And I pretty much floundered around North Carolina for the better part of 7-8 years.
Okay.
Taking a year off here or there because, family and spousal differences and things of that nature. But North Carolina is so big that, honest to God, there are people on the eastern side of the state that have been wrestling for 15 years I've never heard of.
Wow.
And I got stuck in western North Carolina. I didn't start really traveling out of my comfort zone until about 3.5, 4 years ago.
Oh, no kidding.
And then I started going all over the place. South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, Indiana, Chicago, Rhode Island, and started getting a little buzz. And then Gabe happened to see me on an pay-per-view for PWX. It was the X16 tournament. And he expressed a little interest in. Then he had a spot and style battle he needed filled. He wanted me to wrestle John Davis, and the rest is history.
So the style battle versus John Davis, that was your first WWN event?
Yes, it was. And it was 17 minutes of me and John Davis beating the piss out of each other.
Now, I have to say this because obviously the first time we saw you was Evolve 105 here in the Detroit area, Livonia, Michigan, Knights of Columbus Hall. Shortly after that was May 20th, and shortly after that, it was May 20th, 2018, excuse me. 5 days later, you signed your Evolve contract and said, okay, I'm going to start going by J.D. Drake now instead of just James Drake, and went on to, like I said, you're the WWN champion. You're fighting for the Evolve championship now. Since doing that, do you think this is like, are these some of the highlights of your career? And if so, what do you want to happen next? Because I think we all think, obviously, we're hedging our bet on you that you're going to be the dual champion after Saturday night's event on the WWE Network, Evolve 131, the 10th anniversary special. What do you want next for you? What are you looking forward to do post that? Defend those titles? Do you want to go on to, is headlining WrestleMania a dream of yours, sir?
Headlining WrestleMania is a dream of almost everyone that ever steps foot in a wrestling ring. I have dreamed of being in a WWE wrestling ring since I was 3 years old. 3 years old was when I first started watching wrestling and tried to get my grandmother to have Hulk Hogan at my birthday party, which wasn't going to happen. But the pay-per-views and things like that were always a huge spectacle, but there was none any bigger than WrestleMania. And of course, I've always dreamed of main eventing WrestleMania, for sure. But to be honest, I just want to build a legacy that my children can be proud of. Whether that's headlining WrestleMania, whether that's chasing a dream and never giving up on it, whether it's making sure that they don't have to scratch, fight, and claw like I did. I want to be successful for them. Whatever that may be, whether that's spending my life in Evolve, whether that's moving on to NXT and WWE and proving everybody told me I couldn't make it there, whether it's training the next generation of superstars to headline WrestleMania. That would be fine with me too. But I want to build a legacy that I can be remembered for and that my family can be proud of.
And that's any father, listening, myself, I'm included in that. That's very admirable, and it shows why, you are that blue collar badass, because regardless of accomplishments and stuff like that, the bottom line is, leaving a legacy like that for your children is always something that stands in our hearts and our minds, because you always want to make sure things are better for your kids than what you had to deal with. And that's obviously
100%.
That's obviously a very, very admirable trait. And again, this Saturday, 8 p.m. on the WWE Network, Evolve 131, emanating out of the 2300 Arena, is the Evolve 10th anniversary special. You are taking on Austin Theory. Now, last night, Austin Theory was a guest on the Knockouts and 3 Counts podcast. They posted posted a challenge to us, challenging us for the winner of that match. Obviously, for the respective podcasts, if Austin Theory wins, we buy them beers. If you win, they buy us beers. And I accepted that challenge by posting a video onto our Twitter and upping the ante from buying a beer for each one of them to $50. You commented on that and said, "Hope you boys got some deep pockets." So I'm of the ilk, man. I really think that you're going to walk out as a double champion. I really believe that. So that being said,
I'll tell you like I tell all of my fans. If for some reason I happen to come up short during this match, it's not going to be from lack of effort. I'm going in and giving 110%. I know that a lot of people look at me and they say, well, he looks like the guy that drives the ring truck. There's no way that he can last with a physical specimen like Austin Theory. I direct them to Ybor City when I went 30 minutes with Shane Strickland and won.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let the physique fool you. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Now, Austin Theory cut a promo on you last night saying it doesn't matter what anyone can, if they can buy into your story, if they can relate to you, that you're obviously, like you said, like he said, and like you're saying, you're not this quote unquote physical specimen that he is. Would you like to cut your own promo on Austin Theory right now, sir?
I don't have to cut a promo on him. He's doing it for me. Look at him. Yes, Austin, we understand that you look like an action figure. We understand that you look like you've got 14 abs and you look like you live in the gym and you can barely spin around and wipe your rear end because you're so tight. We understand that. But to discount someone's work ethic because they don't look like you, to single somebody out because they don't fit the typical mold of a professional wrestler, to try and discount my abilities simply because you don't think that I train as hard as he does, or as hard as you do. Austin, newsflash, I've been wrestling almost as long as you've been alive. So no matter how much training you do, you still have catch-up to do. What I might not have in physical ability that you do, I promise I've got in knowledge, smarts, and experience. And like I said earlier today, you can come into this match with a game plan. That game plan goes out the window when I slap you in the mouth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so I got a question for you. What is the best rib you've ever played on somebody, and the best rib that's ever been played on you?
The best rib that I've ever played on somebody. Let's see. Okay. This goes back a few years. Actually, no, I've got one that's even better. And it was just this past week. And the reason that it's better is because it happened by accident. I was going to a show. I was actually defending my WWN championship on a Wednesday for a 4th of July special on July 3rd, of course. You know, that's something else Austin Theory won't do. If he's wrestling, his title most of the time is on the line because he's scared. I put my title on the line against Michael Elgin on Wednesday last week. And when I showed up for the show, I noticed a ring jacket laying in the parking lot. I knew whose it was. It was a good buddy of mine. But I know that this good buddy of mine also has a short temper. So I drove by. I opened up my door. I grabbed his ring jacket, threw it in my passenger seat, and then I drove and parked. Well, when I parked, I rewatched the shows that we had from the past weekend, Evolve 129 and Evolve 130. I watched my four-way with John Silver, Sean Maluda, and Takuri, and then I watched me and Bubba Tunde. Just trying to get ready for this coming weekend. And I was out there 45 minutes to an hour with his ring jacket in my passenger seat. Well, I walk in holding his ring jacket. Apparently, like 3 minutes after I pulled over and like parked in the parking lot behind a couple of cars where he couldn't see me, he walks outside looking for his ring jacket. So now he has went inside and he has interrogated everybody in the building, including the people that rented the building to us. He's losing his mind. He's retraced his steps 8 times. He is cussed and raised hell to everybody. I walk in and he's like, "How long have you been here?" Not, "Hey, how are you? Kiss my ass," anything. "How long have you been here?" I said, 30 minutes or so, an hour. He says, "You've been here 30 minutes to an hour. How long have you had my ring jacket?" I said, "I picked it up out of the parking lot." He's like, "No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You came in this building and grabbed it and went back outside." So I had to walk him outside and show him the exact spot that I had dropped, or I picked the ring jacket up from. And then finally we're walking back inside. He still doesn't say thank you or anything. He's getting ready to leave. He's got a 12-hour drive to Charlotte. Or not Charlotte, a 12-hour drive from around the Charlotte area to New York. Guess whose gear bag goes missing?
Oh.
I bet you say thank you next time. Oh, man.
Damn. So what's the best, as he was asking, so then what's the best rib that's ever been pulled on you? What do you do? Who do you give the most respect to for pulling a rib on you?
Well, let's see. Boomer Payne once super glued my tennis shoes to the bottom of a steel chair in the locker room when I was out working a match, and when I had to double shoot. So I got done with my match, got to the back, started packing up my bag, and I had no tennis shoes. I searched the locker room all over, couldn't find them, got mad, started flipping chairs over, and there are my shoes super glued to the bottom. Boomer dying laughing in the corner. But yeah, that was it. There was another rib that happened, but it's not one of those ribs that I respect people for. It's a rib that cost me $450, and if I find out who done it, I'm gonna take $450 out of the rear end.
Oh.
You don't hide people's key fobs to their push to start car.
Oh. Yeah, no, that's no good.
That's your
Yeah,
ass
even
was
if you go to the
supposed
dealership, those things cost a couple $100 to get replaced too.
Yeah.
I went to the dealership first, and they were trying to charge me $700 all weekend. I told them, nope, I just sit here.
Jeez. All right, so obviously Evolve 131 is Saturday, but let's not forget that Evolve 132 is July 14th, and that's happening in Melrose, Massachusetts. If you win, when you win, in my honest opinion, you're going to be having...
When I win.
Yes, sir. I apologize again. When
Where's
you
your compass,
win,
Mikey?
you are having a singles rematch from last Melrose, Massachusetts event. It's you versus AR Fox, and the WWN and Evolve title will be on the line. When you win,
After I beat Austin Theory.
Damn straight, sir. So let's talk a little bit about AR Fox. We've had him here on. He has called into the show as well. How are you feeling about this match? Is this another match that you're looking forward to? Obviously not as big of a stage, but might be pretty damn good of a crowd, seeing as a lot of them may be watching the WWE Network the night before. How are you feeling about this match against AR Fox?
This is a dream match. This is an absolute bucket list match. AR Fox, head and shoulders, may be the most underrated wrestler on the face of the planet. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. He's an icon, a legend in Evolve. He was on Evolve 1, I believe. He was one of the first Evolve champions.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this match to me means just about as much as the one in Evolve 131. Because after I beat his student, Austin Theory, I get to go in and prove myself against one of the absolute best that Evolve has ever had step foot in their ring in AR5.
I also had a question.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite opponent or somebody that you've worked with throughout the years? Like somebody you just enjoyed, had great chemistry with inside the ring?
Matt Riddle.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And just, man, Matt Riddle is the man. Period. He's unreal.
He's the
it's
bro.
Amazing how quickly, it's amazing how quickly and how well he took professional wrestling. But man, he hits hard.
Oh.
He hits really hard.
So would you say he was the stiffest worker you've ever worked with?
No.
No.
He's been around for a minute, sounds like. So he's from the city. He's from the South. They shoot.
I'm not sure if y'all paid attention to the More Than Mania weekend. But Kazusada Higuchi is a grown-ass man.
So of course the stiffs will go to the Japanese.
I swear to you that his real last name is Kabashi.
Well, Mr. JD Drake, we appreciate once again that you called in and had a nice little conversation with us. Again, this Saturday, 8 p.m. on the WWE Network, Evolve 131, the 10th anniversary celebration, NXT Championship match, Adam Cole defending against Akira Tozawa, Evolve Champion versus WWN Championship, winner take all. Evolve Champion Austin Theory will be losing against the WWN Champion JD Drake.
The blue collar badass.
Evolve Tag Team Championship match, Eddie Kingston and Joe Gacy defend against AR Fox and Leon Ruff with Ayla and the Skulk. Catch Point reunion match, Matt Riddle, who JD Drake just said was his favorite opponent to wrestle against, going against WWE Cruiserweight Champion Drew Gulak. And of course, grudge match number 1, Anthony Henry, good friend, brother, workhorseman, tag team partner of JD Drake. Anthony Henry taking on Arturo Ruiz. Grudge match number 2, Shotzi Blackheart versus Brandy Lauren. Special challenge match, Bob Batunde versus Colby Carino. Fatal 4-way match, Kurt Stallion, Sean Maluda, Stephen Wolf, and Harlem Bravado. And then finally the special attraction match, Josh Briggs versus Anthony Green with Brandy Lauren. Mr. JD Drake, we thank you so much for calling in. You obviously are more than welcome to call in anytime, especially after you become a double champion with the Evolve Championship and WWN Championship.
And we earn that $50 tab.
And we have that $50.
Just remember, it's Eastern Standard Time.
Thank you very much for having me on. And to anybody that's within the sound of my voice, you guys are as much a reason that I'm here as anybody else. All you fans that have come out and supported and bought the shows and watched them online, bought tickets, bought merch, anybody that's ever messaged me, whatever. If you've shown any kind of support, just know that we are going into battle on Saturday. It's not just me. All of us are going into battle against Austin Theory.
Yes, sir. JD Drake, let people know where to find you on social media before we let you go.
Yes, sir. You find me on Facebook, James D. Drake. Find me on Twitter, @RealJDDrake. Instagram, I believe it's still @RealJamesDrake. I got to go fix that. That's about it.
All right. Again, JD Drake, thank you so much for calling in, sir. We look forward to speaking to you again in the future. And we don't need to wish you good luck on your match this Saturday because we know you're going to be a double champion after the match.
It's not a prediction. It's a spoiler.
Yes,
absolutely.
You have a great night, sir. Thank you again so much for calling in.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
All right. Bye.
What a very nice gentleman.
JD Drake is a really, really nice guy. Definitely appreciate that man calling in for sure, 100%. We're going to try and run through some of these picks. Ladies and gentlemen, we might not get, I don't think we're going to get, we're still so early in this Extreme Rules match.
So why don't we finish the Extreme Rules card, and then we'll do each cut a video for our Fight for the Fallen. Does that work?
I'm down with that.
Okay.
Easily. So we're going to finish our Extreme Rules match. We're going to make our Fight for the Fallen picks after the show. Damn it. That's what Daniel meant.
What?
He's like, what's a foot? And I was like, what? What are you talking about? The title for this says F-U-G-H-T for the Fallen. I thought I fixed it and I missed it. So, it was me.
Hey, Daniel, you make typos too.
Yeah. Finishing up the Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley match. Braun Strowman, I have to go over. Lashley is going to be first down for the 5 count. I think there's only going to be one number of 9 counts because I just fucking have Strowman just running through Lashley. Match time, I have at, I'll give it 9 minutes. And will there be blood? No. Up next, Undertaker and Roman Reigns taking on Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. Z, you're kicking this one off.
I got Shane and Drew winning. Shane makes the fall. Taker takes the fall. Combined entrance time is 7 minutes with 4 different types of weapons used.
All right. Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, Nick.
I've got
names.
Dead Man and Big Pup.
Big Pup.
Taker's making the fall. Shane's taking the fall. 11 minutes of entrance, shit, and 3 weapons.
All right. Smitty.
I have Undertaker and Reigns winning. Reigns makes the fall. McMahon takes the fall. 8 minutes combined entrance time and 4 weapons used. Joe has Taker and Reigns winning. Taker makes the fall. Shane takes the fall. 11 minutes. And he put table and chair, so 2 for weapons used. Number of weapons used.
All right. I'm with Z on this one. I'm going to go with Shane and Drew. I'm going to go with Drew making the fall. I'm going to go with Taker taking the fall because he's a taker. See what I fucking did there? Combined entrance time of all 4 of these superstars, I'm giving at 14 minutes.
Oh, I'm gonna change it to 11.
Wait, why? I understand Taker's is going to be 5 minutes by itself.
Yeah.
But Shane and Drew coming out together and
Shane
Roman
and
just
Drew
walk.
coming out together is probably going to be another 4-minute festival. Roman Reigns coming out is probably I think Roman's gonna have another probably about a 4-minute festival too. I'm honestly going 14 because I think the ramp might be a little bit longer. Not like super long,
Not
but
like
longer than
WrestleMania long.
Raw.
It's in.
I understand that, but this is a special attraction match, and it's literally from the moment the first entrance hit to the I think till the bell rings, right?
All right, so I'm changing
looking at
my.
this right
Hold
now.
on. Let me read
time.
Let me read this before. It says announce table circle extra, all match extras, area moves near fall. It doesn't have it on here.
Well, combined entrance time for Goldberg and Taker at Super Showdown was 10 minutes and 36 seconds.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with 11 minutes.
All right. I'm gonna still wait.
I'll go 13.
Okay, Nick, are you staying the same?
I'm staying 11. Yeah.
All right. So
And if it's 7, I'm gonna be pissed.
14 minutes for the combined entrance time and weapon types used in this no holds bar match. I'm picking 5. All right.
What's your 5th one? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm just saying 5.
There's going to be a unique weapon used.
Well, no, I ran it down. I'm like, all right, steel chair, table, candlestick, trash can.
Trash can, yeah. But
Steel
someone
steps.
could pick up the steps and hit someone with it.
We're going with 5. That is true.
The ring bell could be used.
I haven't seen that in a while.
Right.
That'd be cool.
There's a lot of different things that can be used, I feel like 5 is a good number for a no holds bar match. Up next, Ricochet versus AJ Styles with the club for the United States Championship. 3 extras for this fall type aerial moves plus or minus 1. And will there be outside interference? Yes or no Nick O'Shea. You're kicking off the match with AJ Styles and Rick O'Shea.
I'm going to go with AJ, pin, 8 aerial moves, and yes, 2 outside interference.
All right, Smitty.
I also have Styles winning by pinfall. I'm just switching mine to 6 aerial moves. Yes to outside interference.
All right.
Joe.
Oh, Joe, sorry.
Has AJ winning by pinfall, 16 aerial moves, and yes to outside interference.
Z.
I have
damn.
I have Alan Jones winning by pinfall, 9 aerial moves, and yes to outside interference.
All right. I have Hairstyles winning by pinfall. I have 11 aerial moves, and fuck yeah, outside interference. Up next, the Revival, defending their Raw Tag Team Championships against the Brothers Oos, the Usos. 3 extras, fall type. Who makes the fall? Who takes the fall? Smitty, you're kicking this one off.
I got the Revival winning by pinfall. Scott Dawson pinning Jimmy Uso because I don't know. When they're in a match, I can't tell who's who. Promos, I can tell. So I can tell during promos, but not during a match.
Racist. They all look alike because they're twins.
That's kind of
Jay's
kind of the thing.
Jay's a little more buff than Jimmy is.
Yeah, Jay likes to fight Detroit police.
No, he's defending his wife's honor.
Oh,
Fuck you.
shit, I couldn't figure that one out either.
That was Jimmy.
I know. That's why I said it. That's why I said Jay.
So he was defending
Go ahead,
his
go to
wife's
your
honor.
pick, sorry.
Like I said, Revival, pinfall. Scott Dawson makes it. Jimmy Uso takes it. Joe has a Revival. He has the same exact fucking thing I have.
So do I.
The Revival winning by pinfall. Dawson pinning Jimmy Uso.
I have the Revival by pinfall. Dawson, Jimmy.
I have the Revival by pinfall. Dash pinning Jimmy.
Whoa.
Whoa, that's wild.
I have the Usos losing. You guys thought I was picking the Usos. I'm not stupid. By pinfall. I also have Dash making the fall and Jay taking the fall. I'm kind of just taking the whole fucking belt back with this one right here, boys. Up next, triple threat tag team match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Daniel Bryan and Rowan defending against Big E and Xavier Woods of the New Day and Otis and Techie of Heavy Machinery. There are 4 extras in this. Fall type. Team that takes the fall.
Whoop.
How my God. Oh my God. Team that takes the fall. Francesca Soundsmaid, as suggested by, I can't really read this, at BDR Cast. Yeah. Francesca Soundmaid. Again, individual Francesca Sounds, a.k.a. if they go New Day Rocks, that's 3, right? If it was something like they did the last week on Raw, I'm pretty sure it was like 8 because he was like, meh, 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 meh. That last one is just 1.
It's one because it's one note.
Yeah,
it's a music thing.
Yes. So, Francesca Sounds made ±1, again, suggested by this crazy podcast at BDR Cast. And minutes until the caterpillar happens. It's not the worm, Daniel. It's not the fucking worm.
It's going with the theme.
±1. The person kicking this one off is Joe.
Yosef has DB and Rowan winning by pinfall. The New Day will take the fall.
I would like to point out that Daniel Bryan and Rowan are basically just stealing our initials, just in a different way. DBR.
Yeah, DBR.
Calm down, guys.
And 7 Francesca Sounds made in 4 minutes until the caterpillar worm.
I don't know why you're speaking in a weird voice. Just speak in a regular voice.
4 minutes till the caterpillar is executed.
Z.
I have BDR winning.
Yeah, we are winning.
Brian Danielson and Rowan.
Yes! Yes!
By pinfall, the New Day takes the fall. There will be 0 Francesca Sounds made and 10 minutes to the caterpillar.
0. All right. Nick?
I've got Breaking Down the Rowan winning. Pinfall, Heavy Machinery, no Francesca, and 7 minutos.
Wow, you guys are in real fucking denial for this Francesca sound after that last one, even though on Raw 2 weeks ago, Francesca was used quite loudly.
That's Raw.
No, you're Raw.
And also, I believe that was a singles match.
No, it was a tag match.
It was a triple threat match,
Nope,
wasn't
it
it?
was a tag team match, and the Francesca sounds were made as Big E was doing things to Viking Raiders on the outside. And then Joe came down, and then fucking Kofi came down, and then it became a 6-man tag match. So, ha.
Also Raw. So
doesn't matter. It's very often that Francesca is used. It's rare when she is not. Hey, Smitty.
I got the guys who look like they don't take a shower.
So Daniel Bryan and Rowan?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Daniel Bryan.
let's be honest about these picks.
The Planet
They use water.
The
to
Planet
just
champions,
conserve it.
not the hygiene champions.
Right.
Yeah, because it's a Ryan and Rowan pinfall. Knew they take a fall. 12 Francesca notes and 8 minutes to the Caterpillar.
So everyone has DBR, huh?
Yeah.
Not me. Giving it to the boys. Heavy Machinery. I think
blue collar solid.
Heavy Machinery taking it by pinfall. Team that takes the fall. I still also believe it's the New Day. Francesca sounds made.
74.
8. Idiot. Minutes until Caterpillar and Worm hits. 12. Thank you very much. Up next, Drew Gulak defending his Cruiserweight Championship against the former Cruiserweight Champion, Tony, check out my abs, Nice. There are 3 extras in this. Fall type, aerial moves plus or minus 1. And will the match be over 10 minutes? Yes or no? Mr. Zanotti, you're the one kicking this off.
I have Mr. Gulick winning.
Yes.
By pinfall. 7 aerial moves, and yes, the match will be over 10 minutes.
Nick.
I've got Gabba Gulak. Pin.
She had it in quotations.
Pin 7 aerials, and yes, over 10 minutes.
All right. Smitty.
Yeah, I have the no-fly zone, Mr. Gulak, winning by pinfall, actually. 6 aerial moves. No to the match going over 10 minutes.
What does Joe have?
And Joe has Gabba Gulak winning by submission, 7 aerial moves, and yes, and the match being over 10 minutes.
I do want to change mine from pin to submission.
Okay. I drew of Gulak winning by submission as well. Aerial moves, I have 7, and yes, the match will be over 10 minutes. Up next, Bayley defending her SmackDown Women's Championship in a 2-on-1 match against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Who wants to play? 3 extras in this. Fall type. Who makes the fall? Bliss and Cross attack each other at any time. Yes or no? Nick Shea. Alexa Nix.
Smitty Nicks.
Ooh, Nick Cross.
It's like Stevie Nicks, only worse.
I've got Bailey. Bailey winning by scissors.
Whoa!
Scissor. It's a scissor.
She wants to play.
With her.
Bailey will play. Bailey by pinfall. Obviously, she's going to make the fall. And there will be a Bliss Cross attack.
Yeah, I didn't,
So is that considered
he
a
didn't give me this one to
double-cross?
pre-read, so yeah, I was like, man,
Who
like,
makes the
that
fall?
Makes
Yeah,
the fall.
duh.
No, I felt like that's just kind of if one of the other ones was like if you're picking Alexa and Nikki, then yeah, obviously. Okay, Smitty.
Yes, I also have Bailey winning by pinfall. Bailey making the fall. And yes to an attack on Bliss or Cross at any time.
What does Joe have?
Joe has the same thing. He has Bailey winning by pinfall. Bailey making a pinfall. And yes to a Cross.
What is
Bliss.
this accent
You
you're doing?
phasing it out or phasing it in?
Yeah, I don't know. This is as bad as Lana's Russian accent.
Yes, 110%. I have Bailey winning by pinfall. Bailey making the fall, obviously. And yes to a double cross.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
That's good. I also have Bailey winning.
Do you have Bailey making the fall too?
You know, I
thought about just being different just in case.
I think I'm going to pick Nikki Cross to make the fall on Alexa Bliss. I don't know.
Well, no, that's the thing about the outlaw rule. You can't do that when you're on the same team anymore.
Hey, calm down. If they're both laying on top of her, Nikki made the fall too. Okay?
That's hot.
I agree. Man, I would love some of that hot cross buns.
Hot crossed hugs.
Ooh, that would be their team name. I like it. No, Bailey's definitely making the fall. And will there be a Bliss or Cross attack each other? I say no, because I think that's going to be later. This says anytime. I do not think it's going to happen on this pay-per-view. Next is Kofi Kingston defending his WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Baby!
No, that's not that line at all.
Yes, he is. Go back and watch the promo on SmackDown, sir.
That's SmackDown. That's not the overall thing for it. Against Samoa Joe, fall type, near falls ±1, match time ±1. Will Lesnar cash in for the WWE title at any time this match or pay-per-view? Let's be honest. It could happen later in the show as well. Smitty, you're kicking this one off.
Yeah.
I dare you to pick Kofi.
You already know.
I dare you not to.
I was going to have him losing at SummerSlam, so.
I Roman Big Dog dare you not to.
Yeah, I triple Roman Big Dog dare you.
Yeah, no, so fuck you. Eat a dick. Kofi Kingston wins by pinfall. 6 near falls.
Dildo and reigns.
Match time, 19 minutes. And no, Lesnar ain't going to do shit at Extreme Rules.
All right. Joe, what do you have?
Joe has Kofi winning by pinfall. 5 near falls, 18 minutes. And once again, Lesnar ain't doing shit.
All right. I got the guy who's slapping the bass, man.
Slapping the bass.
Kofi Kingston. By pinfall, 4 near falls. Match time is 21 minutes. And no, Lesnar does not cash in.
Got
Nick.
Coffee, pinfall, 5 near falls, 17-minute match time, and fuck Brock Lesnar. No cash in.
Slapping the bass, man.
Slapping the bass.
I'm slapping the bass.
I have Samoa Joe winning.
By DQ.
I originally wrote DQ. I really did.
I believe
But
you.
I think I'm changing that. And I'm going to write count out.
It's a bold move.
I think I have a feeling that this match is going to continue on. There's something with
This feud?
This feud, yeah. I think if it's a count out of both of them on the outside, that gives me the points for there. And technically no one won. And no one's getting this 5 points. But I feel like if Joe wins, it is by DQ. So he's going to have some sort of. But I'm going with the count out. Near falls, I'm going to put at 4. Match time, I have at 17. And Lesnar cash in. You know, I just really think Lesnar's not going to do shit during this match.
I don't think Lesnar's going to do shit all pay-per-view.
Up next.
I think they teased it to get views.
Up next, the man's man and the man taking on Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans in a winner-take-all match for the WWE Universal and Raw Women's title. There are 5 extras in this. Fall type. Who makes the fall? Who takes the fall? Will there be intergender moves, excluding a punch, a kick, or a slap? So I'm going to... Basically, we're thinking like a drop kick
Drop kick and
crossbody, a
locker
a
hold.
sliding kick, a tope suicida, if you will.
Elbow.
Insecurity.
Any kind of male on
Insecurity is a kick.
Any kind of
shit.
female on male
Yeah.
interaction.
Yes or no? And will Lesnar cash in for the Universal Championship at any time? Yes or no?
Joe.
Our oven boy is kicking this off.
Damn. I thought I was.
I got bunk beds for sale, Joe.
Wow.
Baked fresh.
Yeah, you have Seth and Becky winning by pinfall. Becky pins Lacey Evans. Yes, intergender moves. And once again, Brock Lesnar ain't doing shit.
All right, Z.
I have Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I mean Lynch. Winning by
Fuck you.
winning by submission. Becky makes a fall. Lacey takes a fall. Yes, there will be intergender moves, and no, Brock Lesnar will not cash in.
Nick.
I've got Seki.
That's what I was gonna do.
Submission. Becky's gonna make the fall. Corbin is gonna take the fall.
Is that Seki with an I?
Wait,
or a
who's
Y?
gonna make the fall?
Becky's gonna make it. Corbin's gonna take it. She's gonna make him tap.
That's not possible
Why?
because
It's
it's
intergender rules.
But it's no holds barred.
no, it's
It is an extreme rules.
It's an extreme rules match.
Let him have it.
This is WWE we talking about. It's not Impact.
I'm gonna be very honest here. You're right. It's an Extreme Rules match, and and nobody said anything about tag-ins. So it's very possible she could pin him. I can't even argue that's a scenario I didn't even think of, and it's very possible.
Going out on a limb.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a good limb. It's a good
That's
limb.
cool, and you're covered both ways, whether
Yeah.
it's Seth or Becky, you get points.
Yes to the intergender moves and no to Brock.
You never answered my question.
What?
Is that Seki with a Y or an I?
Smitty.
I'll let you decide.
I have
With a gay.
With a Y.
I have Becky and Seth winning by
No
submission.
way.
Becky submits Evans. Yes to intergender moves. No to Universal title.
I kind of want
Cash
Becky
in.
to submit Corbin now.
I think
She's just so
Kind of do
submissive.
too now.
You're welcome.
I have Raw Lynch winning. By pinfall. Seth over Corbin. Sorry. Seth over Corbin. Yes, intergender moves, and no Lesnar cash in. Up next, 24/7 championship stuff, as suggested by Coach Ryba. Two things. Champion at the end of the event, 5 points. Who do you think it's going to be? And how many title changes do you think are going to happen during this event? Plus or minus one. Again, if you get an exact on any of these numbers, you get plus 2 points on your pick. Z, this is your event here, sir.
At the end of the event, I have Truth having the title with 2 title changes.
All right, Nick.
Yep. Truth has a title. 2 changes.
Smitty.
I changed mine because
Son of a bitch.
I think Drake Maverick walks out with the title and no title changes.
Okay. What does Joe have?
Oh, my phone. He has Truth and 4 title changes.
I'm going to start calling him Easy Bake Joven.
A short
That's
choke
so
and a juju.
Joe-ish.
A short choke and a juju.
I'm sorry. He has what again? I wasn't listening.
He has
I was gonna get that
R-Truth.
name for him.
And 4 title changes.
Okay. I have R-Truth, also the champion at the end of the event, and title changes. I just have 1. Up
So you
next,
set that at like 450.
yeah. Up next, splash. Unscheduled appearances. You get 5. Each pick is worth 3 points. Nick, you're kicking this one off.
Carmella, Elias, Drake's wife. I don't remember what her name is.
Makes sense.
Truth and Sasha
Truth,
Banks.
you can't have.
Why can't you have truth?
You can have truth.
Yeah.
Totally can have truth.
Smitty.
So I have Drake's hot ass wife, Carmella.
Man, when she was in that white dress, I was like, holy fuck.
Pouring everywhere. Just
I was like, I have R-Truth, Elias, and I have Kevin Owens.
I say you have R-Truth, Elias, and Kevin Owens.
R-Truth, Elias, Kevin Owens, Carmella, and Drake's hot ass wife.
Okay. Who does Easy Bake Joven have? EVJ.
He has The Miz, Elias, Rey Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Charlotte.
All right. Z.
Right now I have Elias, Finn Balor, Carmella, R-Truth, and Drake's wife. And I'm going to swap out Finn Balor for Zack Ryder.
I'm a straight rider.
I won't deny you. I'm a Hawkins rider. You don't want to fuck with me.
I know you were
It's
gay.
Long Island IZ, I got to go with it.
I have R-Truth. I also have Carmella. I have Drake's unconsummated wife. I have Elias. And I have Kevin fucking Owens.
Same deal.
KFO. Up next, Smitty, you're kicking it off. Announce table destruction. English, Spanish, other. Tell me what you think.
The only table that survives is the other.
So English and Spanish.
English and Spanish you go.
What does Easy Bake Joven have?
Yeah. He has the same as I have. The English table, the Spanish table, and the other going.
What?
The English table goes, the Spanish table goes, the other stays.
Okay, that's not what you just said.
Yeah, no, you said they all went.
Yeah, you
As
literally
far
just
as
said
I
all of them go.
understood.
I said the same.
So, Z, what do you got?
The Kevin Owens pick, I want to switch my outcome to the Shane and Drew match. But I'll get into that later. I have English and Spanish being destroyed and the other being saved.
It's a no-holds-barred match, sir.
Right, which means KO can interfere.
Mm-hmm.
So can Elias.
Yeah, it's every one of them can
Switching
be.
Zack Ryder to Kevin Owens.
All right. And what do you have for the tables? I'm sorry.
Oh, I just said English and Spanish destroyed, other being saved.
All right. Nick.
English and other destroyed, Spanish being saved.
Sometimes there's not another table.
Sometimes, well, I mean, with all these no-hold bars matches and all this shit, they could make their way out.
Just if they rebuild the Spanish table, they went through the Spanish table twice. It's not another table.
I have all of them being destroyed.
You know Shane jumping through something.
I have all 3 tables going. Ladies and gentlemen, our Fight for the Fallen picks are going to happen shortly on our social media. However, Extreme Rules picks having been made, remember, you can watch with us in the downtown Detroit Buffalo Wild Wings. Extreme Rules this Sunday night. The pay-per-view starts at 7, so get there a little bit early so you can make sure you take in the entire show. It is family friendly. There is no cover. Just come, have fun, tip your waitresses, tip your waiters, tip your bartenders. That's all we ask. And then we're going to have a huge SummerSlam event going on at Buffalo Wild Wings in August. More of that will be posted. Make sure you are paying attention to Evolve's 10th anniversary special this Saturday, 8 p.m., the WWE Network. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be something huge. Again, you have NXT champion Adam Cole defending his title against Akira Tozawa. Now our friend of our show, the blue collar badass and WWN champion J.D. Drake,
Future Evolve champion,
is going to be in a winner take all match against Evolve champion Austin Theory. If Austin Theory wins somehow, we're going to owe the boys from Knockouts and 3 Counts podcast a beverage up to $50. Actually, we're just going to owe them $50 in drinks. If, when JD Drake is the double champion, the boys from Knockouts and 3 Counts are going to owe us $50 in drinks. Let that be known, gentlemen, that we are going to be drinking so well on Sunday. More matches are happening. The Evolve Tag Team Championship, Eddie Kingston and Joe Gacy defending against AR Fox and Leon Ruff. Catch Point reunion match, Matt Riddle against WWE Cruiserweight Champion Drew Gulak. Anthony Henry versus Arturo Ruiz. Shotzi Blackheart versus Brandy Lauren. Babatunde versus Colby Carino. Fatal 4-way of Kurt Stallion, Sean Maluda, Stephen Wolf, and Harlem Bravado going against each other. And Josh Briggs versus Anthony Green with Brandy Lauren. Boys, girls, men, women,
children of all ages,
trans, gay, straight, Smitty,
oven baked,
whatever you are. We really appreciate you listening, paying attention, and loving us here on the show. Hello to everybody that spoke to us in our chat. Thank you so much to everyone for listening. Thank you so much to everyone for watching. Please subscribe to all of our social media channels at BDRcast for everything. YouTube.com/breakingdownthe-ring. Make sure you're paying attention to us live every Wednesday, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not Central. We come live to you for 2 hours. If you are not paying attention live and you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you find your podcast, please, thank you so much for listening. Give us a 5-star rating. Tell your friends how great we are. Still waiting to hear back if we're going to be in Chicago for StarCast 3 during All Out Weekend. And as soon as we know, we will let every one of our friends and family and fans know. We are your ring crew.
Black Dick Smith.
Z.
Snickashay Cross.
And for the Easy Bake Joven, I am your ring crew champion, the almighty one himself, and we are out.
Ooh.